Hey guys, so today we're going to take a look at fastball evaluation and some things that we look at with our athletes. So there's a multitude of variables here that we're looking at: horizontal movement, vertical approach angle, end zone rate / command, what's their secondary profile, velocity, and of course usage. So today we want to take a dive a little bit deeper into vertical approach angle. So when we look at vertical approach angle, it's kind of like this unknown thing that not too many people are certain of. Vertical approach angle is defined as the steepness or the angle at which the ball crosses home plate. So there are a lot of deceptive qualities with that, and you'll see pitches that play up. So here on the screen, you see a pitch that could be labeled as dead zone, flat, not great velo, not great spin rate, not good carry. And so you would think, how does this pitch perform? And when we reflect on that, we look at this individual pitch. If we look at results, the truth of the matter is this fastball belongs to Joe Ryan, who is a big league pitcher and a tread athlete. Joe struck out 183 guys in 123 innings in 2019, and that shows you how much that fastball plays up. You'll see that regardless of outlier movement qualities, we can find different ways to validate why somebody is successful. Oftentimes, vertical approach is that answer. So vertical approach has a huge correlation to whiff rate. Of course, you're looking at release height, where the pitch is thrown in the zone, and all these variables can ultimately play more impactful than movement numbers by themselves. So a lot of times when we're looking at raw metrics, we might not understand what makes somebody successful. Thankfully, we have a lot of experience with some of those outliers. So, you watch Joe Ryan pitching, you see a 91-mile-an-hour fastball, it looks relatively flat. We wonder why that pitch is performing so well. And vertical approach angle is ultimately the justification for that. So you're combining deceptive qualities of a low release height with a four-seam fastball that kind of plays up in the zone a bit more. Whereas on the inverse side, you look at somebody with a higher release posture like a Clay Holmes, a Yanni Chirinos, guys like that, where they have good sink, but the sink plays up even more because it's a high release height that's being thrown down in the zone. So vertical approach angle ultimately gives us a really good quality of understanding deception and what makes those pitches play up more so than just the movement numbers by themselves. With vertical approach angle, carry has become very popular in the game today, and you see a ton of guys creeping up towards 20 inches of vertical movement. And with that, if you're throwing from a higher release height, generally as your slot creeps up, you're able to backspin the ball more. Sometimes throwing that ball down in the zone might not give you the results that you want. So vertical break in and of itself isn't going to tell the entire picture because you're looking for that outlier quality in vertical approach angle. Ultimately, we want deception. If a guy's over the top, you expect backspin. If a guy's sidearm, you expect side spin, etc. But seeing where you're an outlier to succeed is critical. So we're always trying to look at results and work backwards. So we want to see how are we performing on the field, and then how are we addressing that in our training. So ultimately, if we're trying to optimize vertical approach angle, you might be a guy who targets command sessions being in the top third of the zone. If we're trying to play sink more, we're going to target bottom third of the zone. But ultimately, we're navigating training towards what do your results on the field say. Oftentimes, we talk about dead zone in the industry, and you think about if you have a dead zone related pitch, you can't throw it and you can't be successful. And that's not true. Ultimately, with vertical approach angle, you're able to see and define where you can be successful with a certain pitch, and you might not have to reinvent the wheel entirely on your arsenal. So going further to understand your outcomes and your performance, other than just the raw metrics in and of themselves, can tell you how you're going to use your arsenal to be more effective. If you don't have access to technology, I would say the most powerful thing you can do is analyze a bit of your release height and see what kind of results you're getting. Are you getting ground ball quality contact? Are you getting pop-ups or swings and misses? Ultimately, if you're getting a swing and miss up in the zone and you're a pitcher that releases the ball relatively low, maybe your vertical approach angle is getting pretty flat, which can benefit you. And on the inverse side, if you're releasing from a higher slot going down and getting ground ball contact, you might be a little bit steeper, but making sure you use those things to your advantage. Your arm slot is going to dictate a hitter's perception of the movement. So if you have a lower slot, you're going to expect sink. If you have a higher slot, you're going to expect carry. And you think about guys like Josh Hader, Craig Kimbrell, who are very deceptive with that, having a lower release height and not a true over-the-top slot with their posture. And so when you have those deceptive qualities, you're way more prone to success because now you're going against what a hitter's perception of you may be. So making sure you identify that so you're working on your strength. Thank you guys for watching the video. Moving forward, we're going to be looking at a ton of these variables with data, going through all of them and how they can ultimately impact your on-field performance as well. If you want to know more, shoot us a DM and look forward to doing future videos.